This is Colin Digits. I'm here with Rick, live in the Digitsclub. We're going to have a look and a small discussion about Launchpads. They're going down. Valuations are all over the place, but we did see some interesting news being posted today in the Digitsclub about insurance protocols, right? So that's definitely one thing that is quite interesting. I'm just going to share my screen and then we can, let me know if you can see this. We can go.
Yeah, we're seeing it.
Yeah, to the Launchpads. Because the valuation is, of course, one of the most important things. Ooh, it's a bad day, apparently, looking at everything. I haven't seen it yet. Red. Where are the Launchpads? Here. Okay. So, of course, DAOmaker still at the top. Superfarm. I did see an update on Superfarm, the NFT Launchpad, but right now they don't have a Launchpad. UFO Gaming also doesn't have the Launchpad yet. So the top three would be DAOmaker, market cap 93 million, Polka Starter. Can you imagine half the market cap? That's crazy. 46 million, and then CD5 29 million. So even in the top three Launchpads, there's already a huge discrepancy between valuations, right? One interesting thing, I don't know if you know, I'm just gonna ramble on for a little bit while you digest everything that I'm saying. But the cool thing is, I was speaking with some people that are very close connected to DAOmaker, and they're actually heavily expanding. If you see NFT, participate in projects, they also are moving into the DeFi yield more. That's obviously one thing with these Launchpads. Did you see my video on the devaluation of Launchpad tokens? Rick?
I think so. No, I should have done more homework, I suppose.
Shame on you. Let me see. Here, this one. Why Launchpad tokens lose value in a bear market? Step by step, I explain. Well, basically, we don't have to listen to me, but we have to see this graph basically, right? So it's supply and demand. And what happens with these Launchpad tokens, what is important, let me open the chat so I can see everybody. What's important is that obviously in a bear market, people want to invest less into projects, right? Because they're fearful, right? Look at the fear and greed index. In that case, they launch less projects, which people can participate less. So they are already fearful. Then they don't stake the token, right? Because the token value is also going down. So we already have less projects, fearful, token value going down, lockup, more long-term fear. And because they are launching less projects, also less projects want to be launched on the Launchpad. So it becomes a death spiral, right? It just goes down, 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 down. And DataNets in the chat is saying 100% correct. They only have one source of income. If they don't launch projects, because they take, let's say 10, 20% of the raise, if they don't incubate, then they don't make any money, which is obviously a huge problem, right? So in that case, it just keeps losing value and fucked up. So that's why I think it's cool to see that now they are diversifying, right? And they should diversify. Otherwise, death is imminent. Sure. Anyway, so you can basically see, let me pick one example. Which I see. So we have been in the past a huge supporter of AnyPad, right? Which basically has lost almost 99.9% of its compounded valuation. So basically all the value is almost gone, as you can see, right? We were following it for this period. So from 3.5 cents all the way down till 3 cents, and then I stopped following it. But look at the value right now, right? It's basically gone. But they did announce a project today that they're doing the blocks raise. I'm not sure if that is on the pad already, because usually they're not that fast. I'm on the Ethereum chain, so it only shows Ethereum pools, but so they're doing blocks, good for them. But they're for the last 6 months or four months at least, they haven't launched any projects, and you can see what it does with the token, right? There's just endless depreciation, because what the fuck is the use of this token if it's not going to give you anything, right? It's true, no? If I would ask you right now, why would you buy this token? There's no reason. So it's a launchpad, but it doesn't have any products, right? Okay, I'll give you $100. I tell you, buy some groceries. Yeah, we're going to have a Mexican burrito night. Perfect example. You go to a store which has burritos. You don't go to fucking, I don't know, fucking Xenos or Media Market where you buy all the fucking laptops and shit, right? And then in this case, they have a fucking shop of IDO projects, but they don't launch any projects. It's weird. And then what happens? They devaluate.
They have nothing coming up either.
Sorry?
They have no projects coming up either. I'm looking at the website right now, but
no, I think for the last 4 months, they're doing blocks right now. But they obviously this company has had major issues with leadership as well, right? And I think almost the entire executive team quit because the founder is like non-responsive in terms of he doesn't want to listen to feedback. So I think they're only doing blocks like here. So the whitelist ends 29th of June, so you can still participate. Soft cap of 50K, hard cap of 100K, initial market cap 800K, but it's only 100K raise. And then they wrote a little review about it. But I think this is the last project, and they in the last 4 months, and they did like 3 races in the start of the bear market, but they were all bad. I think they did 1 rug pull and 2 other shitty launches, low quality, like Nomad Land was such a fucking waste. Like after like it had 100% TGE, but the problem was I invested into this project because they did the round in November private, and then they did public in like, I don't know, February or something, and then the TGE was like end of April, May, right? And then obviously way too much time had passed. It went live like Nomad Land, Tribe Land, all these projects were garbage because all the tokenomics are based on bull runs. Like Terraverse, actually, I hated this project, and it was one of the better ones that launched through AnyPad. All right, more questions. Why do you think they have no projects? Because other pads do have some in the past months. It's the team. So it's not specifically. So I know the team. I know the guys who are trying to make it work. And like AnyPad has a good team, but they are not executives, right? So there's an executive team who's like non-responsive to any feedback. And then the person in charge of AnyPad, he doesn't even work for AnyPad, right? So it's like they have like scouts which don't get, like, it's just like a wage structure. I can't say too much about it, but it's never like something I haven't seen before. And my entire assumption is that they just slow down in the bear market, and as soon as the market is bullish, they will come back, right? So I assume that the value will be back, but they are also doing another project, which is obviously the death of many of crypto project, is if a founder is doing 2 projects at the same time, you can't split your focus, right? But that's like AnyPad. It's the same as MemePad. Rick, you looked at Kingpad, right?
Yeah.
Kingpad is the same founder as MemePad, right? Let me show you something.
Well, that's what I thought, but it's very much a bit of a mystery. They don't have any information on it, really.
Yeah. I don't even know the guy's name. I know his handle.
I thought it was Eclipse. That's how he.
It is Eclipse.
Was known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look, the business structure is kind of the same, right? There are some certain spikes on announcements, and otherwise it's basically dead at this point, right? Even Kingpad is even more dead than MemePad. MemePad did some successful launches in the past, right? But when the market was bullish. It's quite sad.
But then every project is good at that time. But did you see the spike that Kingpad did like a couple of days ago?
No, somebody did send it to me on Slack, I think. Let me see. Where
I think it was Herman. Herman saw it. But it's absolutely crazy. It was 7 days ago. I think. Yeah, there you go. No, a little bit back. You see the big spike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
$5. But there's also no tradable volume. I think it's just Maybe some liquidity got moved around or something. It is definitely very weird. Scammy. But I think usually with these, yeah, Piers, I'm just dropping some alpha here. It's like I hear these things through calls that I'm doing with other people. And I mean, I think it's ran by their CMO. So I'm not sure if that CMO is still involved with AnyPad, but he launched a new project. And that's actually a project. I mean, I don't love it, but I sure think it's a hell of a lot better designed than AnyPad in terms of tokenomics, the team that he put together. So Babylon's is obviously also a tier 3 launchpad, and you can see that their tradable volumes are also really low, right? Relative to what's going on in the market. Probably Engine Starter is one of the biggest surprises. And this is a good example as well. Whoa, look at this. If you are the owner of Engine Starter, like you can only do one thing, and that's fucking cry. If you see this now, coming from fucking 21 cents to 0.2 of a cent. That's ridiculous.
There's a pretty good comment. I forgot to mention that. I did point out that 90% of the tokens in the Kingpad are in one wallet, which is at $0 value as well. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, they might just use that for liquidity to stabilize the price, perhaps. But that's with these low market caps. It's just like so easily manipulated. I do think, you know, when we see like the low market caps right now, I think 1 million is already relatively high because Meta VPAD, you know, from the Bluezilla team, Soul Razor, those are not bad launchpads, so to say, right? But when we look at, for example, the Hoppy and stuff, which like are used to incubate like meme projects, those are just getting slaughtered right now. And I mean, like, as they should, because it just proves that the business model doesn't work. I don't want to do like a Do Kwon and laugh at them, because I don't think we should. But I mean, it's just good that in the bear market, it also highlights what doesn't work, right? It's not only fun and games, because I really like this. And from Avalanche, yes, it has gone down, but look at, obviously this is bull, and this is basically where they incubated a lot of the it was the first launchpad on the AVAX blockchain, right? But let's say take an equilibrium price. So the equilibrium price was about $5, right? Sitting at 60 cents, that's not bad. That's like 90% down. 90%, but it's relative. So if you take 99% down, that's 100 from 100 down, right? So that 9% difference is in math like another 100% down. And then you have these projects that just went down 99.99%. So that's basically like, if you would add the cycles, it's basically 10,000% down, right? If you would add them all, which basically means they have literally nothing to offer in this bitch anymore, except, I don't know, being present. I like communities. I mean, I like Robbie. Whenever I talk with Robbie, and Herman talks with him a lot, right? Like every week, like they're best friends or something. But I think what surprised me is that the communities Launchpad has obviously an APAC focus, right? The Asia Pacific for them is huge. Indonesia is huge. But this guy really wants it. He thinks about everything very thoroughly. Quite an interesting guy. They're also doing blocks, I believe. Let me see, calendar. No, not the fucking calendar, Launchpad. It's blocks on there. Where's it? Upcoming. Yeah, blocks. Then they got, and they have also the guarantee. So Rick, let me ask you this. Perhaps you can shine some light on it. What do you think? Did you see the guarantees? What it means?
No.
Okay, then I'll give you a hypothesis. Let's say, stop the screen share for a second. Let's say there are two different ways. You invest into a launchpad, you have the token, you need to stake it. You carry some risk, right? Because price can go up or down. What happens most of the time? A price goes down, right? It's very unlikely for it to go up in a bearish sentiment, but could be, but that's then luck, right? Okay, then we move in the other direction. So you took one risk already. Now you can participate in projects, right? But participating in projects, we now know, is not always as fruitful as it would be in a bull market, right? So what you have to consider, probably would have to hold most coins longer. Plus, what was the other one? I forgot. Have to hold coins longer. And if the vesting is long, it doesn't matter because you still need to bridge the bear. Does that make sense?
I guess so, yeah.
If you would have 2 times, let's say 2 months, 50%, so 50% TGE and 1 month, 50%, it's very likely that there would be a shitty launch in the current market sentiment, right? But if you would have 10 months, 10%, they spread the buying pressure, right? Because everybody will try to sell 10%, but that's not as significant as 50% of the tokens being pushed to the market.
Right.
So then you can judge that side yourself. So you take risk on the Launchpad and then judge the projects yourself. Obviously, the Launchpad will do whatever they can to try and guarantee the best projects by doing KYC, by doing all these things to reduce the risk for your exposure, right? Do you think that's enough or should they do more? Because you might get rugged once in a while, right?
Right. Well, I mean, you can honestly get rugged even with guarantees. I mean, you've seen these videos of people, putting 2 million worth of Bitcoin on a little disk and they forget their password. So it can happen everywhere. But I did see something in the Discord, indeed, talking about that now because of the bear market, there is a lot more guarantees being given. So I do think it's good. And I do think we can progress a lot more during this bear market. During a bullish market, you don't see these extra guarantees and safety guarantees being touched on at all. So it is definitely good. I don't think it's good enough yet, but we're getting there. And the more guarantees, the better. Yeah.
Let me see where that was specifically. I think it was on the Launchpads.
Launchpad channel. Yeah. It was Stony.
I'm gonna pull that up.
Yeah.
Share my screen. Launchpads. Okay, there we go. Here, Mr. Stony 512. I got you. That rhymes. Okay, so Communitas, if a project token falls below the sales price, 50% of the tokens that be invested, Communitas will urge the project to perform a token buyback or large marketing campaign. If it fails and the price of the token is under the launch price for 3 consecutive days, Communitas will provide an option for refunds for the remaining allocation to investors. Okay, so what they're doing is, let's say they raise $100,000, right? The raise is only being released relative to the vesting schedule. So normally, let's say we launch a project for 100 grand, right? We get the 100 grand and then we start the vesting. In this case, we start the vesting, but if it's 10% TGE, we only get 10% of the money as well. So the project is committed to the Launchpad for the longer term and therefore to the investors to live up their part of the agreement. Because usually what you see is thanks for the money buy, they get the 100 grand and after the TGE, they fuck off the project. And then what you have, nothing. If we look at, I need to share my entire screen, I think, yeah. If we look at something like I mentioned, like Nomad Land, Tribe Land, right? Let's head over to Twitter. Crypto Twitter, one of the most toxic, but yet enticing spaces in the world. Let's go to Tribe Land. Tribe of Sluts? No, not Tribe Land. Wrong page. Tribe Land is not even there anymore. Okay. Tribe Land. Maybe it was a full rug. Maybe they just shut down everything. Oh, it's Solana. Yeah. Tribe_land. Here it is. Tribe Land. So their last post was January 18th. January 2nd. Tribe Land closed beta. It's been 6 months. They haven't posted anything. I think the website offline as well.
Yeah.
You can imagine. And these guys raised a lot of money, you know, vote for Tribe Land, Christmas airdrop, all kinds of bullshit. No, game doesn't exist. It's a scam. Scam. And this was a project launched by Anypad. And yeah, I see the website is doesn't work. But I think they raised quite a bit of money as well. And just like a full rug, it's crazy. And then, yes, a Synapse. Solster, and I mean, like, those are reputable launchpad, at least like the top three, you know, like Synapse is also a good launchpad. Any pad is in the bull, a good launchpad. And the bear market just showed everybody how important the due diligence is on the projects, because there's room to be scammed. What was the other one called? I said tribe land, nomad land. Nomad land. That one is still alive. March 24th, May 31st. So that was like a week. Oh no, that's a month ago. And that's a retweet. May 30th, they did some update on the design work. And that's also amazing, you know, these companies take like fucking months and months and months to design shit. I mean, design, it takes long. I'm not gonna lie. Now I have my own experience with design work and stuff, but it doesn't take like 5 months to make like one character. It's like so crazy. So they were quite active, right? May 25th, May 26th, every day they were leaking some design details, but then all of a sudden they went quiet. And I think the website's still live and everything, but like if you haven't tweeted in like a month, that's quite long, you know? Oh yeah, Sportfi. Sportfi, I actually did a YouTube video about, and I said it was going to be a rug and I was not going to participate. And then 3 days later, it was a rug. And I was just like, yeah, there you go. Well, when there's too many red flags, there's too many red flags. There was another one not too long ago where I said like, man, I'm just going to pass on this because it looks a little bit too good to be true. And I got all kinds of comments on my YouTube video that I did on the project. Let me see which one it actually was. Like a handsome guy. Who's that? Let me see. It was a video, and they removed all the comments later. It's funny. This one, the Central World, and I basically said, I mean, like, it looks like a shitty project. It's garbage. It's not gonna work. Blah blah blah. And then they were so supportive. Blah blah blah. And then it was a rug pull, and then they deleted all the comments. I don't know if it's actually this one, but there was like a huge comment like, this is rug, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. I thought it was this one, the Central World or something like that.
I think I saw it. I think I saw it actually.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's funny because that's the thing. As soon as you get a feeling for these tokenomics, you can just tell if it's off, you know, if it looks good too good to be true, it's too good to be true, you know, like, oh, we're going to erase, let's say, so Blocks, right, who's building like a metaverse style game, they're raising $34 million to build like a huge gaming metaverse, which you can like expand, SDK, all this shit, right? You can build on top of it as a developer. And then you have some kind of like 4-man team raising 500K, and they're going to build a metaverse. And then you're like, Blocks has like a huge team, they're raising hella money. And you're going to do the same thing for 500K just because you're from X Asian country, right? Let's not shame that country. I mean, India, but I mean, that's like, obviously. But it's also these countries that give the room and opportunity for the scammers, right? Because they have very little policies, regulations. These guys never get caught. Yeah, and if you're a scumbag, then you do that stuff. However, I also understand why they do it, right? I mean, if you they only have to do that once and they live the rest of their life as kings probably, but once a scammer, always a dirty fucking scammer. In other news, yes, I covered a very early stage game. Oh well, let me not go too much off topic. Let's go back to the Launchpads, because I see somebody posting about a game and I was looking at the NFTs this morning. It's called Xverse. I really like the game, but it doesn't seem that hyped. Am I still sharing my screen?
No, you're not.
Oh. Let's go back to the Launchpads. Launchpads. It's almost dinner time, eh, Rick? What are you going to have for dinner?
Probably Dutch cheese with cheese.
Grilled cheese? Cheeky bastard. You a good cook or not?
Yeah, I like to think so.
What did your girlfriend say?
Well, she's usually the one doing the cooking, so.
Very good, sir. Very good. You just focus on the crypto. She does the cooking.
Oh yeah.
That's how it should be. The dear crypto money. Very good. Okay, share my screen. Oh, ooh, I almost clicked end webinar. Ooh, little heart attack there. All right, there we go. Back on the overview we go. Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, to be fair, it's not really that interesting, these launchpads, right? It's very simple. Ethereum, Bitcoin up, launchpads up, right? But it's basically until the point where they consistently start delivering what they're supposed to deliver, and that's, in my opinion, high quality projects, then we will see the transition. And of course, not to boost our own ecosystem because everybody knows everything about it, but if you have no token, this was built before the bear market, right? So it just shows that we understand how this fucking game is played and how it works, right? Why would we make a launchpad with no token? Because we make enough money in all types of other shit, right? And even with a launchpad model, you can still make revenue streams. Like Digitsclub alone has 3 revenue streams, right? But of course, you need to think a little bit outside the box and not make it like mad basic. But without the token, you reduce the risk for investors. Yes, you need to hold an NFT, right? Let's trash talk our own NFT collection, right? Not a problem. Because the thing is, there's nothing to talk about. Look at how steady the price has been, right? It's illiquid, right? Very important to note. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I'm a difficult teacher, yeah. So if you say you know what that means, now you need to explain it, please. And if you don't know what it means, it's also fine.
Well, I assume that it doesn't have a price that is very volatile, so it doesn't go from up to down, right?
Yes and no. So that is true, but it's not what illiquid means here. So what it means is, like with crypto, you can go to the exchange with the tokens and you can sell it because there's liquidity. So somebody will buy it from you, right? And the idea is that that moves the price up and down. And with the NFT, it's an auction. So you need to list it for sale and somebody else needs to buy it. So you need to wait. So a liquid asset can be converted to cash immediately and a liquid one cannot. Make sense? So this is great that the price is super stable, yet it's illiquid. So you need to remember then, somebody's saying, yes, make it drop, I'll buy more. So, but it's super stable around between 0.2 and 0.3, right? So it has gone up and it has gone down a little bit, but we're seeing, so let's say the all-time high was 0.3, right? Now it's 0.2. So that's about, well, 30% down, right? If we talk in percentages, numeric wise, not that significant, but percentage wise, 30% down from the all-time high. These crypto coins for Launchpads are down 99.9% from their all-time high or more, 99.99999%, which is crazy. So our analysis of how the Launchpad should function relative to these NFTs and tokens is a very good model. So we are better than them. That was end of my speech.
I like it.
But I mean, the token model, again, coming back to my original point, we are not specifically better than them. It's just a different business model that we function, right? I'm a very big supporter of the Launchpads and our Launchpad partners. It was just a joke, a little disclaimer, right? So we don't get fucked up later. No, the thing I think is great by these Launchpads, so for example, DAOmaker, but also CD5 Fund, right, is that they're now diversifying. So CD5 Fund is launching their CD5 NFT marketplace. I don't know if it's already live. IGO Launchpad, and then no, it's not live yet, but they're doing the NFT Launchpad as well. So now they're launching token projects, and they will also launch NFT collections where you can go to CD5 and then launch your NFT collection, which I think is super dope. Which is, of course, the NFT market was not as badly hit by the bear as the Launchpad market, right? Although we see like a dramatic downtrend here, 15x basically down. The NFT market is still pretty good, and DAOmaker is doing that with like DeFi protocols and shit. So then you have the insurance guarantee we spoke about. So the developments in the Launchpad space are still very significant, right? They're not sitting still. And the ones that are sitting still, they're losing even more value than the ones that are already devaluating because of the market conditions. Does that make sense? So it's quite simple. If you are a good launchpad, all you have to do is keep working, and you should not bleed as bad as the others, and try new things. Okay, I have an example here. You know Engine Starter?
I think I heard about it through the Discord. Yeah.
Have you looked at Engine Starter or no?
No.
Not yet. Upcoming
Not yet.
next week.
I'm about to. No
But
review
they have
video
quite
yet.
big raises, right? 300K, 200K. So they have enough participants on the Launchpad. It's a very interesting one I like to talk about, because they also list the tokenomics and everything, how everything works, what the requirements are. So the Engine Starter looks like this. So the all-time high was 21 cents. And right now we're at like 0.2 of a cent, right? What would you, with the limited information you have, right? Because I know this is a difficult question, and there's limited information available for you. This downward trend, what is the solution? What could a project founder do to stop this downward spiral, basically? Because look at it, it's just like going down. And not to forget that basically from here to here, it's already 100% down, right? 100% value lost on this very small part. And basically from here to here, it's 300% value loss. So it's 99.99% down from its all-time high. Basically lost like 1, 2, well, three zeros, right? So that's 1,000% down.
Yeah.
Crazy
My
when you
Lord.
think about
Yeah.
it. But what could a founder do to stop this? If you could name something, I would be really impressed if you could even name one thing.
Well, probably not. I'm probably not going to impress you too much right now. But you know, like you said before, I think launching projects, good projects, you know.
Yes, that's a good one. So keep launching projects. Okay, let's see. Let's go to here. So they are launching projects. I don't know if they're good projects, right? But they launch projects. So you need to stake, or you can farm for allocation, right? And they have like a variety of projects. So there's 6 projects. So that's what they're doing. Okay, is the value going up in the last month? No. Last 3 months? No. Okay, so that is something you can try, but it doesn't work, at least for Engine Starter. So what else can we try?
Yeah, that's a difficult one.
Yeah, because they haven't figured it out yet, unfortunately. Okay, let me invite somebody else here. See who wants to hop on the voice and give us some insights. You do need to know the answer, otherwise I'm going to shame you if you waste our time coming on the voice. You know what we should call this? Arc, you can pick this up. We're going to call it Launchpad School. If we do this every week, we're going to call it Launchpad School, and then we'll keep updating throughout the entire market reversal. And then we just go over all these minor detail things. I think that would be cool. Piers, you still here? You want to hop on and give us the answer? Because we know you're a smart guy. See, now I'm trying to flatter him to join us on the call. Or anybody else? Okay, so one thing they did, which I can already tell you, which I thought was interesting, but obviously I knew it wasn't going to work. And I want you to think about why it doesn't work. So normally you would stake 30, 60, 90 days, right? Those were their basic pools, or I think 30, 60, 90, 180 days, something like this. Now they offer a 5-year staking term. You get a very good APR on that staking. Right? So normally the APR is 10%. Now they give you 50%, 5 times as much yield on your tokens, but you need to stake it for 5 years. What would be, so they reduce the supply significantly, right? If everybody stakes in this pool. So when you reduce the supply and demand stays the same, price goes up. That's like the economics, but it didn't go up. Why not?
No one is going to wait 5 years. I don't think.
Well, yeah, maybe. Okay, so they might not have used the pool, right? Which is like the major one. If they open up a 5-year pool, might not mean that anybody wants to use this pool, right? Because 5 years, the price drawback I just shown you, that's the last year. Can you imagine what happens in 5 years? So from the user point of view, yes. What about from the Launchpad point of view? Why wouldn't it be a good choice to offer 5-year staking?
Well, the answer is not going to come out of me. See what the chat has any answers for that.
It's more like a desperate move. It definitely is a desperate move. And ARK is saying need to make it deflationary. And that is where the truth is at. So what happens is, let's say we have 100,000 tokens. We stake them for 5 years. Now we take that 100,000 out of the supply, right? But there's a 50% APR. So every year, those dividends, we get more tokens. So the problem here is this big. And in 5 years, the problem will be compounded this big. So you just migrate the problem and it will be more significant. You just have 5 years to solve it. Why do I think they would offer 5-year staking is because they never intend to solve it, right? I think they will shut down the company before that term comes so they don't have to deal with that problem. Or they would have to readjust the tokenomics at that point and they just postpone the inevitable, right? Why would you stake for 5 years for 50% APY in such volatility? Because people dumb and don't do no research, right? They think, oh, 5 years APY, I'm not going to look at it anyway. Later, we'll come back and we'll be millionaires. You could gamble that way. The odds are very minor. So now we come back, like, why would you then stake a Digit Agent NFT for 2 years? Because we offered it 2 years. The whole difference is it's a capped supply asset. So we will go live with 100% circulating supply. There's 999 NFTs, which is very little, right? Compared to the fully dilution of the token, which they have not achieved yet. So right now, let me have a quick look, quick sneak peek. The market cap is 1.3 million and the fully diluted market cap is 12 million. So they only have 10%-ish of their tokens in circulation. So 90% of the tokens still need to be brought into the ecosystem. What happens? Value goes down more and more and more because there's no demand for this token and they're already struggling. And 90% of the tokens still need to be brought into the economy. I don't know what the vesting contracts will look like or how that works, but at least in the next 5 years, 90%, so it will be super messy, right? The tokenomics are just not good. The best thing I think they can do, stop the current contract, bridge it to a new token, redesign the tokenomics, and give the people a choice. Either we shut down the Launchpad or we migrate to a new token. So basically, or you're done with the project and you just quit, you know? And that's also what people don't understand. Crypto, gold, everything will go to the moon. No, it's just like any other business. 95% of the businesses are gone in the first year because that's people that don't know how to run a business, right? Literally for us, nothing has changed going from bull to bear. We only got more people on board. Why? Because we have a super experienced executive team, right? Combined even like our executive role experience of 3 individuals is, I'm the least experienced, right? So among the 3 executive, it's 56 years of executive experience, 56 years. That's crazy, right? So they both have 20 and I only have 10, right? But then we are competing with founders with no founder experience or no executive experience, right? So it's not actually about the project, it's more about business economics, right? How does it work? How does blah, blah, blah. It's a little boring of a discussion. I want to go back to the NFTs. Why would we offer 2-year NFT staking? Because the supply is low and the demand is high. When you have so many products and you are creating more products, then the demand will even be higher. So as long as you control the demand and supply, in a normal fashion, then it's great. What happened with these launchpads? They oversold their tokens in the bull, right? They thought that if we raise the most money and we get the highest valuation, it's better, right? Because if I would ask you, Rick, you can make a company and the value is either 5 million or 500 million. Which value would you like?
500 anytime.
Rick Musk.
Yeah.
So in that case, with these NFTs, the supply and demand has to be measured. So normally you have supply here, or well, demand here, right? And supply here. So an NFT will usually slightly drop in value, but we have designed the supply here and the demand here with so many products, which there's only one. No, it will take time, but this would be the natural flow on how things will go, right? The other thing is all the products are ready, which is also very important. And that's what I like when I see these launchpads coming down and back, it's diversification. Why are we not designing only track digits? We started with track digits. We started with Digitsclub, but that was Discord, so it's a little different. Then we did track digits. We could have stopped with track digits. We invested a lot of money in that project without still, we haven't sold any license, right? Because they're attached to the agent NFTs. But then we made 3 more products. Why? Because of course you also want to spread risk. I have a full analysis of which products will be used the most and which products we assume will be used the least, right? Because that's natural. I mean, when you go, you have a car?
No.
No, me neither. Fucked up. Damn, man. We so rich yet so poor.
Yeah.
We don't need that shit. Well, let's say you go, I don't have a good example. Let's say you would have a car and you would drive it every day. You would basically put gasoline in your car, right? Because it needs to drive. But you're not going to wash your rims every single day. That's what you do once a month, right? When you clean the entire car or whatever the fuck people do with their rims. The idea is that you focus on the asset that is the most important, but don't neglect all the other things. Because something will always be most important, but that's what I think the problem with these launchpads is. They focus on one thing and just look at it. But by looking at it, it doesn't change. You need to do something, actually do something in order to make things happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end of my rant. What was I saying? Yeah, it's all about balance. Anyway, Launchpad School episode 1 completed, I think. Rick, anything else you would like to add?
No, I'm liking the Launchpad School so far, actually.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I think it's like when we have more examples and more questions, we can basically keep going through it and get better and better and better. And that's, I do my favorite thing, which is talking. And then you can learn something new and everybody else who's here as well. Rick, thank you so much. I'll see you next week on Launchpad School episode 2. Everybody else, thank you for your participation. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.